Okay, we're trying to figure out what each of these are equal to. So the best way to do this is to change form. So it's kind of like saying this is equal to x, and we're going to solve for that x value. So what is the base here? What's the exponent? X equals 32. So the question is 2 to what power equals 32? So what 2 to what power does equal 32? X has to equal 2 to what power is 32? 5. Good. All right. Now, I just want to take a side note here and rewrite this. This is the same thing as 2 to the x equals 2 to the 5th. And when the bases are the same, right? So the bases, when the bases are equal, then, so if bases equal, then the exponents are equal. Okay, so the reason why we're getting 5 here is because we're like, well, 2 to what power does equal 32? Well, 32 is 2 to the 5th, and the reason why they're equal is because then the bases are equal, so the exponents have to be equal in order for the left side to equal the right side. Okay, now, for this one, we have that new rule, right? This is 6 to what power? To the, if nothing is there, what power is it? To the first, okay? So I know that if I have log base b of b, what is that always equal to? That's always equal to 1. It's equal to the exponent, okay? So it doesn't matter what the base is. If these match, all right, if you can remember that property, you can quickly say, oh, that's just going to be 1. Now, some of you didn't. That's not a problem. You would set this equal to x, and then you say, all right, the base is 6, and the exponent is x equals 6, and they're like, oh, x has to be 1 because 6 to the first power is 6, okay? But if you can remember this rule, then it's going to just save you some time, okay? So we get x equals 1. Let's circle this guy here. Okay, for this one, we can certainly change forms, but before we do that, though, how could we write this 1 over 100 using negative exponents? This is log of 100 to what power? To the negative, well, you're jumping ahead, but negative 1. But this is a log, and then what is the base here that we're not writing? If there's no base, the base is 10, and 100 is 10 to what power? 10, what is 100? 10 squared. Good. So this is the same thing as log base 10 of 10 to the negative 2. And when these two match, what's the answer? It's the exponent. Yeah, makes sense. So it's going to be negative 2. Now here, we didn't have the exponent. It was unseen, so we knew that was 1. Here we see it's negative 2. So this is one way to do it. Okay, obviously you can write it. The other thing is, right, that you actually brought up, you right away were like, oh, this is 10 to the negative 2. Like, you automatically changed it to that. That is how I personally would try to do it. I'm like, you know what? If I have log base 10, how can I rewrite this as 10 to a power? And I know 10 to the negative 2 is 1 over 100. So if you see that right away, that's also a time saver. Okay? Now, some of you, again, just want to change forms. So you'd say, all right, well, what's the base here? The base is 10. I don't know the exponent, so I'm going to give it x equals 1 over 100. And then you would have to be like, well, 10 to what power is 1 over 100? And it's 10 to the negative 2. Okay. For D, easiest way is to rewrite this 125, right? See how the base is 5 here? Let's rewrite this as log base 5 of 5 to a power. Well, 5 to what power is 125? 5 to the third. 5 to the third. When the bases are the same, what is this equal to? It's going to equal 3, the exponent. So this is this rule. Log base b of b to the x equals the exponent. If the bases match, the exponent is the answer. Okay? So that's your log property. If these match, your exponent's the same. So if you can rewrite this number so that it matches the base here, then that's great, because then you know the exponent is the actual answer. So the answer here is 3. Okay? So for this one, what is the base here? Yeah, so we can rewrite this as log base 10 of 10 to the 8th. Well, guess what? This is a simple problem now. It equals 8. If the base and your base to the exponent that you're evaluating, if these two are the same, then the exponent's the answer. So much faster to use that property. All right. 343. Let's rewrite it as log base 7 of 7 to a power. 7 to what power is 343? Is it? Yeah? Everybody agree? Okay. So this equals 3. Okay. Now, 216. Now this is in the bottom. So I know my answer is going to be negative, because if I have a fraction, I'm trying to put it up to the top. Like this is 216 to the negative 1. Make sense? But instead of taking that middle step, right, 6 to what power is 216? It's to the third. 6 to the third. All right. So what's going to happen is I get log base 6 of 6 to the negative 3, and that's going to equal negative 3. Because 6 to the negative 3 equals 1 over 216. These are the same thing. Make sense? So once these match, the exponent's the answer. Okay, this is log base 4 of 4 to what power? To the third power. Done? Okay, this is a little bit bigger. This is log base 2 of 2 to what power? 2 to the 6th. So that equals 6. Okay, then we have log base 3 of 3 to what power? To the 5th power. So that's 5. Do you guys see how much simpler it is than like always having to change forms? You can certainly change the form, but if you can find a way to rewrite it, save so much time. Like this one, oh my gosh, so much easier this way, right? So we have, for this one, log base 3 of 3 squared, so that equals 2. All right, now this one's a little harder because we have the 1/2, right? So why don't we change this up a little bit? What is the base here? 1/2. What is the exponent? Equals 1 over 8. Okay. Let's rewrite this. Instead of 1/2, I can rewrite this as what? Well, yeah, 0.5, but we're going to leave it instead as 2 to a power. Instead of 1/2 to the x. Well, 1/2 is 2 to what power? 2 to the negative 1. 2 to the negative 1. But I have an x here, so it's really 2 to the negative x. And 8 is 2 to the negative. 2 to what power is 8? To the negative 3rd power. Therefore, what is x equal to? 3. Okay, 3 more to go. We can do this. All right. 1 over 25 is the same thing as 5 to what power? Well, 5 to what power is 25? Yeah, so it's 2, but then we're going to put a negative because it's a fraction, so this is going to equal negative 2. All right, 2 to what power is 256? 2 to the 8th. And then for the last one, we have log. What is the base actually here? 10, and this is 10 to the 4th, so the answer is 4.